Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna make my wife Nini's favorite breakfast. This is my beautiful wife Nini. Tell me a little bit about it.
It's an avocado hash, so it's potatoes, it's eggs, it's this really good avocado pico salsa. It's incredible.
I have to make it for her 2 to 3 times a week. She absolutely loves it. We're gonna get into it. Here we go. So before we get into making this breakfast hash, we need to peel some potatoes. I like using russet potatoes for this. I find that they get super crispy, and I prefer them over a Yukon Gold unless I'm doing mashed potatoes. Make sure you peel the heck out of them. Once peeled, cut the potatoes in half, and cut them in half once more long ways, and then cut them into 1-inch cubes. It's important to cut all the potatoes the same size so they cook evenly. Next, in a medium-sized pan on medium heat, add 1 tablespoon of butter and 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Once the butter is melted, add all your potatoes to the pan and evenly coat with the butter and the olive oil. Once the potatoes start to cook and they're evenly coated with the butter and olive oil, generously season with salt and pepper to taste. Don't be afraid of the salt and pepper here. Potatoes can take a lot of seasoning, and nobody likes bland potatoes. So the potatoes are probably going to take around 15 minutes to cook, so I do recommend you get your avocado salsa together while your potatoes are cooking. But for the sake of the video, we're going to do each element of the dish individually. Once your potatoes are crispy on the outside and soft on the inside, they're done. If you need to test, stab one of your potatoes with a fork, and if it goes in clean and smooth, they're cooked all the way through. We're going to set the potatoes aside, and we're going to move on to making our avocado salsa. To start, take 1 medium-sized tomato, cut the top off, and slice it in half. De-seed the tomato, and then julienne each half nice and fine. We want to then dice the tomato into little 1/4-inch squares. So we're essentially making a pico here, and from my experience, pico has very finely diced tomatoes, so I kind of like it like that. If you want your tomatoes diced bigger, by all means, do what makes you happy. Add the diced tomatoes to a large bowl and set aside. Next, we're going to finely dice about 1/4 of a sweet onion. Peel the onion and then cut into it about halfway vertically and halfway horizontally, and that will give you a perfect dice the same size as your tomatoes. Add your onion to the same bowl as the tomatoes and mix. I like around a 2-to-1 ratio tomato to onion. We're going to dice 1/4 of a green bell pepper, but if you want a little more heat, I recommend adding a jalapeno. Next, we're going to add 1 avocado. You want to try and time the avocado so they're perfect when you make this. Since you're going to cut the avocado into cubes, you don't want it to be too firm or too soft. No browning on the avocado, just green all the way through. I know this is easier said than done. Peel the avocado and cut it into little 1/2-inch cubes. Add the avocado to the bowl with the tomatoes, onion, and pepper, and mix until evenly distributed. If you're making this ahead of time, I recommend covering with plastic wrap and storing in the fridge until you're ready to use it. Next, we're going to add 1 bunch of cilantro. Now you want to wash your cilantro because you want to get all the dirt off of it from when it was picked. Finally, chop up your cilantro and add it to the bowl. So I like to chop up some of the stems and all. I find there's a lot of flavor in the stem, so I like to add it in. Next, we're going to cut 2 cheeks of lime and squeeze it into our salsa. It ends up being around 2 teaspoons of lime juice. Make sure you taste it and add more lime juice if needed. Next, we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil and season generously with salt and pepper to taste. Now I recommend you gently toss your avocado salsa. Try not to break or mash the avocado. It's going to add a lot of nice texture to the dish if we keep them in cube form. Taste the salsa and adjust the salt levels as needed. Now let's move on to the final component of the dish, the scrambled eggs. Try and get organic eggs if you can. You're going to crack about 2 to 3 eggs into a bowl and whisk vigorously until homogeneous. This will allow you to get a lot of air into your eggs, which will make them nice and fluffy when we go to cook them. Let's get ready to cook our eggs. In a medium-sized pan on medium-low heat, add 1 to 2 tablespoons of butter and gently melt. Next, add the scrambled eggs to the pan, turn the heat to low, and constantly keep the eggs moving with the spatula. Once the eggs are about halfway cooked, turn the heat off and let the residual heat in the pan cook the eggs the rest of the way through. Season with a little salt and pepper, and now you're ready to plate this up. I like to start with some potatoes on the bottom of the plate, followed by some scrambled eggs, a nice spoonful of your avocado salsa on top, garnish with a lime wedge and some cilantro, hit it with a little finishing salt, and enjoy. So there you have it. We made our avocado hash. We had our hash browns on the bottom, followed by the scrambled eggs, and then that beautiful avocado salsa on top. How do you think I did?
This is so good, you guys. This is one of those things that I could eat every single day, and I kind of do. I make him cook this for me a lot, so he's had a lot of practice. The only thing that I do just a little bit differently is I like to sprinkle some Frank's Red Hot sauce over the top. It just adds that little bit of spice, gives it that extra kick, or you could always chop up jalapenos real fine, add them to that salsa just to give it a kick if you want it, but it's delicious either way.
Leave a comment below. Let me know what you want to see me cook next. If you enjoyed this video or you learned something, give us a like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.
Peace.